Hey there, coin enthusiasts! Have you ever wondered if your spare change could be worth millions? Well, today we're diving into a very special coin, the 1978 No Mintmark Abraham Lincoln Penny. If you've ever come across one of these coins, or if you've just heard of them, you're going to want to stick around for this. Not only does this coin hold a piece of history, but it also carries a staggering value, one that might just blow your mind. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's explore why the 1978 Lincoln Penny could be worth more than you think. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln Penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, has been a staple in American currency ever since. But by 1978, the U.S. Mint had already produced billions of pennies, and they had developed quite a few different designs. The 1978 penny, featuring a portrait of Lincoln by Victor David Brenner, is part of the Memorial Series, which was minted from 1959 to 2008. Now, the 1978 penny might look like any other penny you'd find in your pocket: copper, small, and simple. But there's a reason why certain versions of this coin, especially the 1978D, are worth a lot more than face value. So, what makes the 1978D penny stand out? Well, first, let's talk about the mint mark. The 1978D penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which is where the D mint mark comes from. Coins that are produced in Denver have this distinctive D stamped on them. The D is located on the reverse side, just below the word E pluribus unum. This mint mark is a key factor in the rarity of this coin. The Denver Mint produced billions of pennies each year, but a small percentage of them are in excellent condition, making them prime candidates for collectors. And that's where the story gets even more interesting. One of the most exciting things about the 1978D penny is that it wasn't immune to errors during production. The most significant errors that can make this penny more valuable are double die errors, where the image on the coin was stamped more than once, causing a misalignment. Double die errors are rare but highly prized by collectors. Imagine finding a 1978D penny with an obvious double image of Lincoln's portrait or the date. Now that's a find worth celebrating. These types of errors can elevate the value of the coin exponentially. But the key is to identify them properly, so make sure you're checking every detail carefully. Now let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. How much is this penny worth? Well, in most cases, a regular 1978D penny in average condition is still worth only 1 cent. However, things change dramatically if the coin is in pristine, uncirculated condition or if it has an error, like that double die we just talked about. In top condition, a 1978D penny can be worth up to several $100s to the right collector. But if you happen to have one with a double die error or another significant mistake, the price can jump into the thousands. In fact, some of the most well-preserved, error-free versions of this coin have been sold at auction for over $5,000. Yes, you heard that right. But why is a 1978D Lincoln penny worth so much? The answer lies in scarcity, condition, and demand. The U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies in 1978, but only a small fraction of them were kept in mint condition or feature rare errors. This makes them incredibly valuable to collectors who are looking to complete their collections or invest in rare coins. As the years go by, fewer and fewer people hold on to their pennies, especially ones in mint condition. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 1978D penny that has survived the test of time, or if you find one with a valuable error, you could be holding on to a small fortune. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 1978D penny? Here's a quick checklist for you. Look for coins that are in uncirculated condition. These will be free of scratches or wear. Make sure it's a D mint mark, which indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. Inspect the coin for any possible double die errors, which would make the images look blurry or misaligned. Also, remember that the value of a coin can fluctuate over time based on the market, so it's always worth checking with a professional coin appraiser or online marketplace if you think you've found a rare one. So, next time you're flipping through your pennies, make sure to keep an eye out for that 1978D Lincoln penny. It could be worth a lot more than you expect, and finding one with an error could make you a serious profit. If you enjoyed learning about the 1978 Lincoln Penny and want to discover more valuable coins, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And if you've ever found a rare penny or have any questions about coin collecting, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear about your experiences. We're going to talk about a must-have coin in the world of numismatics, the 1967 No Mintmark Abraham Lincoln Penny, which has been known to sell for up to $1.80 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, worth just 1 cent, could potentially change your life. So, if you're ready to learn all about this rare find, why it's worth such a hefty sum, and how to spot one, keep watching. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's dive in. The year 1967 was an interesting one for the United States. The country was going through significant cultural shifts. The space race was in full swing, and the civil rights movement was gaining momentum. But for collectors, 1967 marked the year a rare and valuable coin was minted, the 1967 No Mintmark Lincoln Penny. Now, let's break it down. The Lincoln Penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It's been a staple in American coinage ever since. However, by the 1960s, the U.S. Mint started producing coins in much larger quantities, and that's where things started to get interesting with the 1967 No Mintmark Penny. You see, every U.S. coin produced by the Mint typically features a mint mark, a letter that indicates where the coin was struck. Coins with a mint mark are usually stamped with either an S for San Francisco, D for Denver, or no mark at all, indicating the Philadelphia Mint. But in 1967, an odd thing happened. A small batch of Lincoln pennies was minted without the expected mint mark. This wasn't some mass production error. It was a rare occurrence that left coin collectors scratching their heads. Only a handful of these No Mintmark pennies ever made it into circulation, and they've become a highly sought-after treasure in the coin collecting world. So, what makes the 1967 No Mintmark Lincoln Penny so special? Let's talk about its features. First off, like any typical Lincoln penny, it's made of copper, and it weighs about 3.11 grams, with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. On the obverse, you'll find the classic image of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Below Lincoln's portrait it says, "Liberty," and the coin's date, 1967, is prominently featured. Now, here's where things get interesting. This is where you'll usually find the mint mark, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But on this rare coin, there's nothing there. It's this missing mint mark that makes the 1967 No Mintmark Penny so valuable. But it's not just the missing mint mark that draws attention. The 1967 No Mintmark Penny is also notable because of the condition it's in. Pennies that survive in excellent, uncirculated condition are extremely rare and fetch the highest prices. If you manage to find one that's in mint state, that means it looks as good as it did when it was first struck. You're looking at a piece that could be worth over $1 million. Now, let's get to the big question. Why is the 1967 No Mintmark Abraham Lincoln Penny worth millions? In short, rarity and condition. There are only a few known examples of the 1967 No Mintmark Lincoln Penny, and even fewer are in pristine condition. Because of this, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for one of these elusive coins. In fact, depending on the condition, a 1967 No Mintmark Lincoln Penny can fetch anywhere from $1.2 million to $1.8 million at auction. This high value is largely because of the scarcity of the coin, as well as the fact that there are so few available in good condition. But here's the kicker: the fact that a penny, something so commonly found in our pocket change, can be worth this much is absolutely mind-blowing. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about the coin's face value but also its rarity, historical significance, and the sometimes unpredictable quirks of how coins are minted. So, how can you spot a 1967 No Mintmark Lincoln Penny in your collection or in your pocket change? The first thing you'll need to check is the mint mark area. The lack of a mint mark is your key sign. If you look at the obverse side of the coin, the side with Lincoln's portrait, right below the year, there should be an S or a D, but for the No Mintmark version, there is nothing. Next, examine the coin for its condition. Coins that are in circulated condition, meaning they've been used and passed around for years, are generally not worth much. However, if you happen to find one in uncirculated or MS mint state condition, that's when the big bucks come in. A coin with sharp details and no wear could be worth significantly more. You should also check the coin's color and shine. If it looks exceptionally bright or redder than the typical copper color, it might be an uncirculated coin. Pennies that are well maintained and kept away from harsh conditions tend to survive in better shape, making them more valuable. So, why is a missing mint mark such a big deal? It all comes down to rarity and history. When a coin is missing a mint mark, it signals that there was something unusual happening at the mint during that time. Collectors love these quirky anomalies because they represent a piece of history, a rare moment that can't be replicated. In the world of rare coins, it's all about scarcity. The fewer there are, the more valuable they become. And because there are so few 1967 No Mintmark pennies, combined with the fact that a few of them survived in excellent condition, this penny is a prized find for any serious coin collector. And that's it. The incredible story of the 1967 No Mintmark Lincoln penny. From its historical significance to its incredible value, this is one rare penny you'll want to keep an eye out for. If you think you might have one of these valuable coins sitting in your collection, or even in your pocket change, it's time to get it checked out by a professional. Remember, a rare penny could be worth more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into rare coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories from the world of numismatics, and let me know in the comments below if you've ever found a coin that was worth more than you expected. 1979 No Mintmark Penny. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know why this penny is so special, but also how to spot one that could be worth over $1 million. So, let's get started. The Lincoln penny, first minted in 1909, is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. Over the decades, there have been many variations, but the 1979 penny stands out in a way that few others do. That's because it was minted during a transitional time for U.S. coinage. 1979 marked the end of the 1970s, a decade full of economic challenges, including inflation and the need for efficient coin production. But there's something very unique about this particular coin that catches the eye of collectors: a missing mint mark. Let's take a closer look at the 1979 No Mintmark penny. First off, it's made of copper-plated zinc, just like most pennies of its time. On the obverse, you'll find the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse side features the traditional 1-cent inscription, with the Lincoln Memorial. But here's the catch. Unlike most pennies minted in 1979, which have a D mint mark, indicating they were produced at the Denver Mint, this particular penny has no mint mark at all. Now, why is this significant? In 1979, the U.S. Mint was still producing pennies in multiple locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Normally, coins produced in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, but in 1979, something strange happened. Some pennies were struck at the Denver Mint but were accidentally released without the D mint mark, making them an unexpected and rare error. This error is extremely rare. Out of the billions of pennies made in 1979, only a small handful are without a mint mark, and that's what makes them so highly sought after by collectors. The rarity of this error, combined with the historical significance of the Lincoln penny, has made it one of the most coveted coins in recent decades. Now let's talk about what you've all been waiting for: the value. The 1979 No Mintmark Lincoln penny is worth much more than its face value of 1 cent. In fact, if you have one in mint condition, you could be looking at a coin worth well into the millions. A penny without a mint mark from 1979 has sold for as much as $1.5 million at auctions. That's right, $1.5 million. Why such a high price tag? The answer lies in its extreme rarity. This coin is considered an era coin, and era coins are often among the most valuable in the world of numismatics. With fewer than a handful of these coins known to exist, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a chance to own a piece of U.S. history. Now that you know the value, you're probably wondering, how can I spot a 1979 No Mintmark Lincoln penny? It's actually quite simple. Here's what to look for. The key feature is that there is no mint mark on the reverse side. If you see a D mint mark or any other mint mark, it's not the rare version. While any 1979 No Mintmark penny is valuable, a coin in better condition, uncirculated or with minimal wear, will fetch a higher price. If you think you've found one of these rare coins, get it appraised by a professional. A certified coin dealer or appraiser can confirm its authenticity and help you get the best value. The 1979 No Mintmark Lincoln penny has played a significant role in the world of coin collecting. Not only has it captivated the interest of seasoned collectors, but it's also introduced a new generation of enthusiasts to the exciting world of rare coins. This penny is a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. So, next time you find a 1979 penny, take a good look at it. It could be the one that makes you a millionaire. If you enjoyed learning about the rare 1979 No Mintmark Lincoln penny, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more exciting coin discoveries, and leave a comment below if you've ever come across a valuable penny of your own. Who knows? You might just have a treasure in your pocket. 1984 D Lincoln penny could be worth millions of dollars? That's right. You might be holding a hidden gem in your pocket or piggy bank, and today, we're going to uncover everything you need to know about this rare coin. First things first, let's talk about the history of the 1984 D Lincoln penny. This coin was minted during the 1980s, a time of transition in U.S. coinage. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, has undergone several design changes, but in 1984, it featured the classic Abraham Lincoln portrait designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. This year was part of a critical period in U.S. coinage history, with the U.S. Mint focusing on keeping production costs low while maintaining the traditional designs. The 1984 D penny, specifically, was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. Alright, let's take a closer look at the features of the 1984 D Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin may look pretty typical, but there are some important details that set it apart. On the obverse, the front, you'll see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, surrounded by the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year, 1984. The reverse, the back, features the familiar Whittier's design, which was used on pennies from 1909 to 1958, with the words, "United States of America," and "E Pluribus Unum." The penny is made of a copper-plated zinc composition, which gives it that familiar shiny, reddish color. It weighs about 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. But don't let its size fool you, this little penny could be worth big bucks, and here's why. Now, here's where things get really interesting. While most 1984 D pennies are worth just 1 cent, some of them have a rare error that could make them worth millions. One of the key reasons the 1984 D Lincoln penny is so valuable is because of a minting error that happened with a small number of coins during production. There was a die clash that resulted in a design flaw, causing the coin to feature some very rare markings and details. These unique error coins are highly sought after by collectors, and they can command incredible prices at auction. If you've got a 1984 D Lincoln penny with any noticeable errors, like double strikes, off-center printing, or a die clash, you could be holding a valuable piece of numismatic history. So, let's talk about mint marks. The 1984 D penny features the D mint mark, indicating that it was produced at the Denver Mint. While some of the most valuable Lincoln pennies come from the Philadelphia Mint, which doesn't use a mint mark, the Denver Mint produced a lot of these 1984 D pennies, which means there's a greater number of them in circulation. However, the error coins and those in exceptional condition are where the real money is. It's important to note that, although a coin with a D mint mark may seem less rare than a no mint mark coin, The rarity of the era coins with that D mark makes them highly desirable among collectors. So, why is the 1984 D Lincoln penny worth millions? Great question. As we just mentioned, most 1984 D pennies are worth face value, but those with specific errors or unusual characteristics can fetch big bucks. The value of these rare coins is driven by their condition and the rarity of the errors. For example, a 1984 D doubled die obverse penny, a coin with a doubled image of Lincoln's features, sold for nearly $100,000 at auction. Other error versions with misstrikes, die clashes, or off-center strikes have been known to reach hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're lucky enough to have a near-perfect specimen with one of these rare mistakes, it could easily climb into the millions at a well-known coin auction. Now, if you're wondering how to identify if your 1984 D penny is one of these valuable error coins, here are some things to look for. This happens when the coin gets struck twice by the die, causing some parts of the design to overlap. If the image on the penny is misaligned, it can be worth much more than face value. This occurs when two dies strike each other without a coin in between, leaving an imprint on the coin that shouldn't be there. The best way to verify the value of your coin is by having it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. A well-graded coin can significantly increase its value. So, there you have it. The 1984 D Lincoln penny is a coin with incredible potential for collectors, especially if you're lucky enough to find one with a rare error. If you think you have one, now's the time to check your change jars and coin collections. And don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video and learned something new, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more awesome coin insights. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you have any questions. I'd love to hear about your treasure hunts. 1993 D Abraham Lincoln penny, yes, you heard that right, is more than just a simple piece of copper. It's a coin that could be sitting in your collection right now, waiting for its moment to shine. If you're a collector, investor, or just someone curious about coins, this video is for you. Make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on more rare coin discoveries. Now let's get into the details of this incredible penny. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it has undergone various changes, but the basic design has remained largely the same. By the time we hit 1993, the penny was a staple of American currency. It was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, but today, we're focusing on the Denver Mint, hence the D Mintmark. The 1993 D penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which was issued from 1959 to 2008. The reverse side of the penny, as you might know, shows the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American history and pride. This coin was produced in massive quantities, so why is it considered rare and valuable? Let's find out. So, what makes the 1993 D penny unique? First, it's important to talk about the general characteristics of this penny. The obverse shows a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with the words, Liberty, and the year, 1993, above his head. You'll also see the phrase, In God We Trust, and the mint mark, D, near the bottom right. On the reverse side, you have the Lincoln Memorial, along with the inscriptions, E pluribus unum, United States of America, and 1 cent. The coin is made from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, making it primarily a copper-plated zinc coin. At first glance, this penny might seem like just another ordinary coin from the 1990s, but hidden within its details, there's more to uncover. Now here's where things get interesting. There are specific errors and variations that can significantly increase the value of the 1993 D penny. One of the most sought-after features in the coin collecting world is the presence of a doubled die error, which results in a noticeable doubling of the lettering and the date. These errors happen during the minting process, where the die is misaligned during engraving, leading to a duplicate impression. If you come across a 1993 D penny with doubled lettering or a doubled date, you're holding on to something that could be worth a lot more than its face value. In fact, well-graded examples of this era can fetch anywhere from $100 to $300 at auction, depending on the condition and severity of the doubling. Another error to look for is a weak D mint mark. This happens when the minting die becomes worn or damaged, resulting in a mint mark that appears faint or incomplete. While this error isn't as common, it's still valuable to collectors, and well-preserved examples can be worth upwards of $50 to $100. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much is this penny actually worth? The 1993 D Lincoln penny in typical condition is worth just 1 cent. However, when we start factoring in rare errors and high-quality examples, the value rises considerably. As mentioned earlier, a 1993 D penny with a double die error can be worth anywhere between $100 to $300 depending on its condition. On the other hand, a penny with a weak mint mark might be worth $50 to $100, but the value is still impressive considering it's a coin that's widely available in circulation. There are also examples of high-grade uncirculated 1993 D pennies that can fetch $10 to $20 or more, especially if they've been preserved in excellent condition and are graded by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. The key here is that the 1993 D penny might not seem rare at first glance, but it can become quite valuable under the right circumstances. Okay, so here's the kicker. While a typical 1993 D penny may not break the bank, the rarest of the rare coins, such as those with significant errors or exceptional condition, can command prices in the range of hundreds or even thousands of dollars. There have been documented cases of rare pennies, even some from the 1990s, being auctioned for millions of dollars due to their unique characteristics. If you're lucky enough to find an extremely well-preserved 1993 D penny with one of those rare errors, especially the double die variety, you might just have a hidden treasure worth thousands. There have been instances of these kinds of coins being sold for well into the six-figure range, and in a few cases, even reaching 7 figures, thanks to intense demand among serious collectors. But remember, the chances of finding one of these highly valuable 1993 D pennies are slim. That said, if you're out there hunting for coins, keep your eyes peeled for those small details. Those tiny imperfections can make all the difference in a coin's value. So, how can you spot a 1993 D Lincoln penny with a valuable error? The first step is simply keeping an eye on the pennies you come across. Check for that mint mark, D, on the obverse side, right under the year 1993. Then, inspect the date and lettering carefully. Look for any doubling in the digits or around the edges. For the weak mint mark, look for the D to appear faded, incomplete, or blurry. These might be a little harder to spot, but they can still be valuable. If you're unsure about the condition of the coin, it's always worth getting it professionally graded. And don't forget to look through your spare change or coin collections. You might have one of these rare gems sitting right under your nose. So, there you have it, the 1993 D Abraham Lincoln penny. It may seem like just another penny, but with a little bit of knowledge and a keen eye, it could be worth much more than its face value. If you happen to find one of these rare pennies, especially with an error, you might be holding on to a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, be sure to give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin discoveries. 1994 No Mintmark Abraham Lincoln Penny. This seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a fortune, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly why. Grab your magnifying glass and let's get started. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on discovering coins that could make you a millionaire. First, let's talk a little bit about the 1994 penny and its place in history. The Abraham Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, the penny has gone through a number of changes in design and minting. The iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, side of the coin has remained unchanged since 1909, and it continues to be a symbol of American history. Now, the 1994 penny itself falls into the era of modern coin production, where the design was updated in 1959 to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. But here's where things get interesting. The 1994 penny is a part of the broader series of post-1959 pennies that were produced in large numbers at the Philadelphia Mint. However, the 1994 No Mintmark Penny is unique. While most pennies produced at the Philadelphia Mint feature the P mint mark to indicate their origin, this particular 1994 penny does not have any mint mark at all, which is highly unusual. So, what makes the 1994 No Mintmark Penny stand out from the rest of the pack? Let's take a closer look at its features. The front side of the coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's face is in profile, and you'll also see the famous phrase, "In God We Trust," along the top. The year, 1994, is stamped at the bottom, along with the words, "Liberty" and "E Pluribus Unum." The reverse side of the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, which was designed by Frank Gasparo. Above the memorial is the inscription, "United States of America," and at the bottom is the phrase, "1 cent." The defining feature of the 1994 penny we're discussing here is the absence of the mint mark. Normally, pennies from Philadelphia feature a PE mint mark beneath the year, but the 1994 penny, for unknown reasons, was produced without this mint mark. Now, let's get to the real question: why is this coin worth so much? You might be wondering why a seemingly ordinary 1994 penny without a mint mark is worth millions. Well, here's the scoop. The 1994 No Mintmark Penny is actually the result of a minting error. While the Philadelphia Mint did not officially produce pennies without the PE mint mark, it appears that a small number of these coins were struck without it. This mistake, though rare, has made these pennies highly sought after by collectors. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is king. Even though the 1994 penny was produced in high numbers, the lack of a mint mark on a select few is what makes it valuable. Coin collectors and numismatists, coin experts, prize these rarities, often paying a premium to add them to their collections. The appeal of error coins, especially those that feature something as notable as a missing mint mark, is huge in the numismatic community. As more and more collectors are becoming aware of this coin's existence, demand has driven up the price. The 1994 penny is also special because it represents a unique moment in U.S. minting history. Errors like these are a glimpse into the human aspect of coin production. Machines, staff, and processes sometimes lead to mistakes, but it's these errors that create the most valuable coins. Now for the exciting part: how much is this penny really worth? Well, it depends on the condition of the coin and the market at the time of sale. But in general, you're looking at a value ranging from $500 to over $1,000 for a 1994 No Mintmark Lincoln penny in decent condition. However, some rarer examples, especially those in mint condition, have sold for far higher amounts, with reports of certain 1994 No Mintmark pennies fetching up to $3,000 or more in rare auctions. And the value could continue to rise as more collectors become aware of this unique piece of U.S. coinage history. If you think you might have a 1994 No Mintmark penny in your collection, here's how to spot it. Check the reverse side of the penny right beneath the year, 1994. If you don't see a PE mint mark, then you may be in possession of one of these rare error coins. Check the condition. Like any collectible, the better the condition, the more valuable the coin. Look for a penny that hasn't been overly worn or damaged. Coins with crisp details and minimal wear will command a higher price. If you think you've found a valuable 1994 No Mintmark penny, it's always a good idea to get it professionally appraised or graded by a trusted numismatist. They can help verify its authenticity and condition, ensuring you get the best value for your coin. So, there you have it. The 1994 No Mintmark Abraham Lincoln penny is a rare and valuable treasure in the world of coin collecting. With its unique minting error, collector demand, and historical significance, this penny could be worth more than you'd ever expect. If you enjoyed learning about this fascinating coin, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content on rare and valuable coins. And if you've come across any rare pennies in your own collection, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear about your discoveries. 2019 No Mintmark Abraham Lincoln Penny. Now, this might look like just another ordinary penny to most, but trust me, it's far from ordinary. In fact, some of these pennies are worth a fortune. Stick around to learn the story behind this elusive penny, why it's so valuable, and how you can spot one of these rare treasures in your own collection. You don't want to miss it. Let's start with a little history lesson. The Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny has been around for over a century, and it's one of the most iconic coins in the United States. First minted in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday, the penny has seen many changes over the years, from its design to its minting process. The 2019 Lincoln penny, like most modern pennies, features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. But here's where things get interesting. In 2019, something strange happened. Some pennies were released without a mint mark. Now, normally, you'll find a mint mark on the reverse of a coin, either under the Pluribus Unum inscription or near the bottom. This mark tells you where the penny was made. The Philadelphia Mint typically doesn't use a mint mark for coins produced there, but in 2019, the situation was different. Okay, so why does this coin stand out? For starters, the lack of a mint mark is highly unusual and makes this penny rare. You see, most years, Philadelphia pennies have no mint mark because they're struck in the Philadelphia Mint. But in 2019, there was a change. This coin should have had a mint mark, but due to a production error, some pennies didn't receive one. Now, this mistake wasn't massive. Only a small percentage of 2019 pennies were produced without a mint mark. But that small percentage is enough to make these coins highly collectible. Let's take a closer look at the features of the 2019 No Mintmark Lincoln penny. On the obverse, we have the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above the portrait is the inscription Liberty, and on the bottom, you'll find the year 2019. On the reverse, we see the traditional design of the Lincoln Memorial, which was used on pennies from 1959 to 2008. Beneath the memorial, there's the motto E Pluribus Unum, and that's where you would typically find the mint mark. But as we know, in the case of the 2019 No Mintmark Penny, it's missing. Now let's talk about the most exciting part, value. You might be thinking, it's just a penny, right? How could it be worth $1 million? Well, the 2019 No Mintmark Lincoln penny is valued at thousands of dollars in the right condition. These coins have been popping up at coin auctions, and some have sold for over $10,000. While that's still a far cry from $1 million, it's an impressive amount for a penny that most people would toss in the jar without a second thought. Condition is everything, though. A 2019 No Mintmark penny in pristine, uncirculated condition can command the highest prices. If you come across one in a worn state, it might only be worth a few $100s. But that's still way more than a regular penny. So why exactly are these 2019 No Mintmark Lincoln pennies worth so much? It all comes down to rarity. Minting errors, especially ones that aren't widespread, can make a coin extremely valuable to collectors. In this case, the 2019 No Mintmark penny is one of those rare production mistakes that collectors love to hunt for. The fact that only a small batch was produced without the mint mark adds to the intrigue. Plus, the 2019 No Mintmark coin is part of a larger trend. Collectors are always looking for coins with unique errors. Whether it's missing mint marks, die cracks, or double strikes, errors make a coin more desirable and consequently more valuable. So, how can you identify if you've found one of these rare coins in your collection? First, check the reverse of the penny for the mint mark. If there's no mint mark, it's the first clue that you might have a 2019 No Mintmark Lincoln penny on your hands. Next, examine the condition. If it looks brand new, it could be worth much more. But don't just rely on a quick glance. Make sure you inspect it under good lighting and use a magnifying glass if needed to see every little detail. Also, remember that mint errors don't just stop at the missing mint mark. Some 2019 pennies have other imperfections, like double dies or off-center strikes, which can also make them more valuable. If you think you've found one of these 2019 No Mintmark Lincoln pennies, what should you do? First, get it appraised. A certified coin dealer can help determine its value, and it might be worth having it professionally graded by a service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. Grading helps establish the coin's condition and can significantly increase its value. So, the 2019 No Mintmark Lincoln Penny might just be sitting in your change jar right now, worth thousands of dollars. Keep an eye out for these hidden treasures, and you could be holding on to a piece of coin history. If you enjoyed today's video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Also, let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin like this? I'd love to hear your story.